Alright, so today is day 9 of not drinking coffee. 9 days straight without drinking coffee. And the first thing that I feel, I mean, I've had a lot of feelings, different feelings from not drinking coffee. But the first thing that really stands out is the feeling of being liberated, or like set free almost. You know, I don't have to interrupt my day by going to the coffee shop and lining up, and I just feel that there's just something, you know, it's like an extra accessory that you're carrying, and you know, you're not carrying that accessory anymore. And also, you know, being liberated from the need of coffee, just to you know, people say if I don't have my coffee I can't start my day, or I can't think, or, you know, I don't need to worry about that anymore. Like I'm free from that side of it. So anyway, welcome to my channel where we talk about bikes and more. And today I'm going to tell you what it was like for me just to not drink coffee, just to stop. So I'll talk about the steps that I went through, the phases, so the withdrawal phase, and then I'll talk about how my feelings changed, just my general feelings, and then I'll talk about my performance, you know, mental performance, I guess, performance at work, and then at the end, you know, I'll talk about whether I will consider drinking coffee again after you know, being able to quit. So the reason I wanted to stop drinking coffee was I was having these strange feelings which were going on for a while, just a feeling of lethargic, being sort of tired, lethargic and kind of weak, and then also this kind of, like, I don't know how to call it, maybe like a brain fog, and maybe like a little bit of depression almost, you know, sort of depression feeling. And I wanted to know, like, I mean, I've been drinking for a lot of years, and these things which I'm talking about only kind of just started in the last couple of years, maybe around the time of COVID. So I don't know, because if it's age or just, I just wanted to know if it was the actual caffeine, maybe drinking it for a long time that started to bring these feelings on. So I'll be talking about how I feel. But first of all, it's the withdrawal, so how that felt like. I'd say the first 2 days I didn't have any real symptoms, like I didn't feel anything. The only thing I felt was I just really wanted to have a coffee. On maybe, I think it was like the 3rd day, I decided to also fast, so not eat anything. You know, there was something that I was just, you know, praying about, and I was fasting on that day. That was the 3rd day, and so I wasn't drinking coffee, and I also decided not to eat anything that day. And I had, you know, I was at work, and say from about 1 p.m. I had this, like, I don't know if it was a sugar and caffeine crash. Like, I was just so tired, like I couldn't keep my eyes open, and that has never happened to me, like, especially at work. Like maybe I could say if it was late at night and I was reading a boring book, and I would get sort of maybe a quarter, you know, my eyes would start to go to sleep. That would be like a quarter of what I felt on that day, you know, when I was fasting and, you know, had not drank coffee for 3 days. And yeah, like, I tried to sort of stick it out and see how long I could last, and I stayed at work for another couple of hours, and then I just, you know, there's an hour left of work, and I just couldn't handle it anymore, so I just went home. and you know, lucky I managed to get home. So it was like a 1-hour trip, and you know, lucky I wasn't riding on that day. I just, yeah, it was like the headache started, and I just could not keep my eyes open. And you know, I managed to get home, and I took a shower, went straight to bed, and I slept from 5 o'clock onto about 9 p.m. Yeah, and then I got up, and then I made a YouTube video. So it was okay, but then after that, so the withdrawal continued, but the tiredness was sort of gone, but it was just a mild headache for the next 2 days, and it wasn't like a bad headache, it was just kind of mild. And but when I would eat, so I'd stopped fasting like sort of the next day, and I was starting to eat, and that kind of made the headache go away a bit. But it was just still there for the next 2 days, even though I was eating properly. So after that, I was pretty much over. There was no more physical symptoms. So that was like on day 3 to day 5, I guess. So the next thing is how I feel. Like, how do I feel now? And I can say it's different. You know, like, I feel more relaxed, more okay with everything, like not so intensely just want to do stuff, not, you know, sort of like impatient or angry, you know, like just a lot more okay with just being who I am at work, doing what I'm doing, just at peace. So yeah, and as for, like I was saying, I was feeling a bit of depression and things like that. I mean I was quite sensitive to coffee, so I do feel like this sort of depressive feelings sometimes, but that kind of went away a little bit actually. I mean, it's hard to say because I didn't really plan. It was a bit sudden, me just sort of deciding to stop drinking coffee for a while. And as in terms of what I was saying, lethargic and brain fog, I don't know, maybe it's improved a little bit, but I don't know, maybe there's other things going on, like, you know, I'm 42 now, you know, maybe like your body changes and stuff. So yeah, and I know that I had tremors in my hand, so that's gone down a fair bit. And I mean, I still had a bit of tremor sometimes, like when I'm doing I do camera work at church, and you know, when I'm there on the camera, I get a bit of tremors when I'm so I still had that, you know, when I'm, you know, using like the zoom and the focus rings and stuff like that. You know, it would kind of affect the camera sometimes a little, but that didn't go away completely, but that has improved, I think, a fair bit. So the next thing is, you know, performance, like mental performance. So I think a lot of people think that coffee helps boost their performance. I think it did change it a little, and it didn't make it better or worse. Like, drinking coffee doesn't improve it or make it worse. I think it's just different. So I think some things you get better at, and other things you get worse at. So when you're drinking coffee, I think sort of simple or repetitive tasks become, you know, you become better at them. But I noticed, you know, at work, I was able to multitask better when I'm not drinking coffee. I'm not so focused on one thing. You know, maybe it's because I'm just more relaxed as well, so that could be part of it. Like, there's studies that show that you know, a lot of coffees reduces the student GPA. You know, it's very minor. It's like 0.01 between every step in number of coffees. And there was also a study that shows that caffeine narrows the veins in your brain. So I don't know, to me that sounds like there's less blood flow going to your brain. But I think the performance benefits or losses are very just negligible. Like, okay, let's say you get a performance of, I would say an example would be, you know, the type of oil that you put in your car or your bike, right? Let's say you get instead of the $40 oil or the $100 oil, you know, the $100 oil is better, but it's not going to make much difference in terms of your vehicle's, your car's performance or your bike's performance. It's got maybe at best case 1 or 2% better, if that. You know, what's going to make you perform better, say mentally or at work, is, let's say, if you do a course or if you do training, or you know, if you just, when I was working on my ZX6 and all the challenges I had, that I found improved my cognitive problem solving ability at work. You know, things like that. You know, reading a book, that's like, you know, that's like putting a turbocharger to increase. So you put a turbocharger on your vehicle and you get, like, you know, 40% more performance. You know, that's you know, the 1 or 2% because of the oil is nothing, and that's what coffee's like. It's nothing. I think so. It's negligible. So if you like coffee, just drink it. It's not going to make you perform better or poorly, or it just mostly affects how you feel. So lastly, would I start drinking coffee again? And I think the answer is yes, I would. You know, I'm just going through this, maybe a detox, but I think I will just go back to it. But I think I will this time, you know, regularly quit coffee for a bit. So maybe, I don't know, maybe once a year, like for 1 month a year, or... So lastly, we'll finish off as usual with a Bible verse, and that's from Philippians chapter 4 verse 13, and it says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And you know, I just pray if anyone is having like addictions, you know, coffee not such a big deal, but you know, maybe other things, like maybe pornography, that's a big addiction these days because it's so easily available. I mean, you don't need pornography in your life at all. You don't need it. You know, maybe some people have some alcohol addictions or drug addictions or something that's affecting their life. You know, I pray that you can overcome it, and you know, you can live a life where you don't need it and it doesn't cause problems. It won't cause you more problems in your life. So anyway, that's all I've got. Yeah, if you like my video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and take it easy and ride safe.